Okay. This is what should be done by one who is skilled in goodness and who knows the path of peace. Let them be able and upright, straightforward and gentle in speech, humble and not conceited, contented and easily satisfied, unburdened with duties, and frugal in their ways, peaceful and calm and wise and skillful, not proud or demanding in nature. Let them not do the slightest things that the wise would later reprove, wishing in gladness and in safety. May all beings be at ease, whatever living beings they may be, whether they are weak or strong, or omitting none, the great or the mighty, medium, short or small, the seen and the unseen, those living near and far away, those born and to be born. May all beings be at ease. Let none deceive another or despise any being in any state. Let none through anger or ill will wish harm upon another, even as a mother protects with her life her child, her only child. So with a boundless heart should one cherish all living being, radiating kindness over the entire world, spreading upwards to the skies and downwards to the depth, outwards and unburdened, free from hatred and ill will, whether standing, walking or sitting or lying down, free from drowsiness. One should sustain this recollection. This is said to be the abiding by not holding to fixed views, the pure-hearted one, having clarity of vision, free from all desires, is not born again into this world. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Well done, thank you for that. That was beautiful. And would you like to start your talk?
Yes, okay, so usually with any talks, I like to just bring out anything that's resonant or any discussion that I might have been involved in the last few days. So this morning I was basically eating at the hermit house, and after eating I was just washing my bowl outside, and feeding the scrap to the animals. And Ajahn Brahma came over with another monk, and he asked me how I was going at Hermit Hill, and and I said I was doing pretty good, and he asked me how was my meditation doing, and I say it's interesting. I say sometimes I find that if it's a very quiet location like over Hermit Hill, then usually my meditation do quite well when it's very quiet and peaceful. Or I say sometimes when I'm mixing with the community, and it can be quite busy and quite chaotic, and also sometimes my meditation also do well too. When it's really quiet and peaceful, or when it's very chaotic and full of drama and problem and conflict. And I wonder why. How come I cannot practice well in the middle? It has to be one extreme to the other. So I guess some people have the same problem too. It's either when it's really quiet, you're on retreat, you're alone, you go for a 9-day retreat, or you go for somewhere very quiet, or when when life is quite, we say, chaotic, having problem with people, having problem with family, work is not doing well, things are falling apart, the world is falling apart. You might be fed up with what's happening with your life, maybe problem with work, and sometimes when you sit down and meditate, they say things are so intense that you can basically let go easily. So sometimes I wonder why that's the case with my practice and other people's practice. It's either one extreme or the other extreme. There is also a middle way. The middle way is a bit more difficult and it's a bit harder. What I mean by that is, say you're not quiet, you're not peaceful by yourself, or you're not overburdened with work and responsibility, or having a lot of conflict, or things are falling apart. When everything is just nice and perfect, then there's no problem. Then sometimes when we sit and meditate, our mind can be very scattered. You can go from past, future, or we just bored. Most of the time it's bored. So sometimes one of the questions that a lot of the way people ask us is when they sit and meditate, they feel bored and their mind start wandering, or they fall asleep when they're meditating. Even myself, when things are working right, and the monastery is doing well, if I sit and meditate, sometimes I find that I slowly get bored and I fall asleep. And before I know it, I notice I'm snoring. I go, hey, I'm snoring. So that's funny. Sometimes I notice that too happen to myself too. And to get mindfulness up can be quite difficult. But I remember the time when before I learned meditation, I used to do some like diving, snorkeling, or caving, where I used to work up in the mines. So when I'm doing things like that, like diving in the ocean or snorkeling, or going caving up in the caves, then I noticed the mind is a bit more sharper. You tend to be more mindful, or even like race car driving. I used to be a mechanic, so I used to take my car to the racetrack to see how fast you can go and handle. But when you're doing extreme sport, exercise, you tend to be mindful and very focused and very aware. And because you know that if you make a mistake, you might damage yourself, or if you make a mistake, you might hurt yourself. So I spoke to some people that like to do rock climbing, and they say the same thing too. When they're climbing up the rock, they're very mindful wherever they put their hands and where they're grabbing and where they place your feet. It's very important. You make a mistake, you just fall over, but you have a safety rope and you hurt yourself. You may hurt yourself. So when you're doing extreme sport or even surfing, you become very aware. Your mind becomes very sharp, and you've become very focused on the task you're going. So in deep meditation, you get those superpower mindfulness where your mind is very focused on the breath. But when things are perfect, our focus is not there. We tend to wander and we get bored in our meditation. So sometimes that's why a lot of people like to do extreme sport, because afterwards they feel alive, they feel very focused, and after the sport they feel very relaxed and very peaceful. So when I remember I used to go caving up in the mines. When you go caving, when you come out from the caving around the place, crawling under the cave, sometimes you have to swim from one place to another. So it was very fun and very exciting. And you feel quite alive and alert. Yep. And I used to go snorkeling a lot. And you'll be quite aware when the shark come over. You come fully awake, and you just look at the shark. Okay, see where it's going. If it comes close, you have to basically get your stick and just poke it. Yep. or if you come very close, you have to learn to push it away. Things like that. You become very alive. So I used to do all this stuff just to feel good and feel alive. But when I'm by myself, I feel very bored, restless, miserable, fault-finding, depressed. That it led to anxiety and depression that affected my health so bad that my hand was shaking. But luckily, when I started learning meditation, all this, we say, mental disorder slowly faded away. Because I really got into meditation. It gave me a lot of happiness and peace and freedom. And it did remind me of when I was doing all this extreme sport, that you feel alive because you're fully aware. You're basically in this moment. Your mind is not scattered, not thinking about the past, thinking about the future, or thinking what to do next, or cooking lunch, or the argument with your friends or family. So when you do extreme sport, you're basically aware and you're quite focused. So meditation is the same thing too. If we can stay with our body, be fully aware of our body, then we bring that grounding to this body, with the breath and with the mind. And when it's done properly, there's a lot of awareness, a lot of peace, and a lot of calmness. And I remember when I first did meditation, when the mind was silent, it brought a lot of happiness and freedom. It reminded me of all those sports that I used to do when I was younger. That brought me a lot of happiness too. So that's one reason why people do extreme sport, because you feel alive and you feel free at that moment. So meditation is the same thing too, but it's a bit harder because we're basically sitting around just watching our breath and watching our body, because our mind is always being programmed or conditioned to be so busy, to think, to plan, and to work things out, that it's very hard for the mind to just stay still and behave itself, to stay with the breath. So it does take a bit of effort, and when the mind is very scattered, then there's also one more way of practicing is walking meditation. So when you do walking meditation, you just walk back and forward in one location, and you're basically aware on your feet, just moving forward, putting down, then your left leg going forward, and just the whole sensation of touch and the whole movement of the leg going forward and backwards, forward, stepping forward, then raising the next leg forward and stepping down. So your mind, your awareness is on your feet, the sensation, and after maybe 10, 20 minutes, you feel like you're quite light and you're floating, and the mind is there, very calm and very peaceful. So that's one way of calming the mind, bring the awareness and the moment to the body, just by walking meditation. But sometimes when people start doing walking meditation, if the mind is very active, they start walking up and down very quickly, and before they know it, they are running up and down on the path. So there's many techniques to bring up mindfulness. Is to step on something that's quite high, like a plank, a very narrow plank, where you have a safety line. So when you become very mindful wherever you step, so if you fall over, you fall right down. So that's one way of bringing mindfulness when there's a bit of risk and danger involved. But I don't recommend that. And if you do it, you always have a safety line. So what I mean is that sometimes we are asked to go up the roof to clean the gutters and stuff. So when you're up there, you become very mindful when you clean the roof. So this mindfulness is something that we have to develop. And when we develop it, then our meditation will take off. And if we don't develop it, then our mind will become very strong. Then it goes from basically everywhere. Our thoughts is basically our control. Our thoughts is one of the hardest thing to understand, to master, and to be aware of, because we cannot stop thinking. Thinking will always be there. But one thing we can develop is to develop the mindfulness, the sharpness of the mindfulness, where you're calm, you're peaceful, but you're very aware. When you're aware, you become alive. You see things more clearly, not from a scattered thoughts. Because when we are thinking so much and so quickly, we don't see things clearly. Because sometimes our thoughts is clouded by defilements of greed, hatred, and delusion, like the self. And this greed, hatred, and delusion is driving most people in the world. So if they're not mindful, they're just going for the defilements. Too much greed, too much fault-finding, too much negativity, and too much self or ego. But wisdom is something else. Wisdom is seeing the harm and the danger of our action, our speech, and our thoughts. Like you look at the news these days, you see people that don't practice any wisdom or restraint. It's all over the place, and they're causing suffering to themselves and other people. So that's why meditation, precept, and mindfulness is very important. Because when we're mindful, we're aware what we're doing, and we become very clear. We know the harm or danger of unskillful action and thoughts, and also speech too. So when we are mindful, we become very aware. We become a person that is conducting things in a way that will bring happiness to ourselves and other people. That is not causing any chaotic behavior or become very neurotic, like just doing things to feed the defilements. So wisdom is something that does take time to develop. And mindfulness is the key, and also letting go. So it takes time. So yeah, maybe I hope that makes sense. Yep. If it don't make sense, I can ask question afterwards. Okay. So there's two extreme of become very looking for a quiet place to let go, or getting really chaotic. And when we're overwhelmed with suffering, we try and let go. But there's a middle way of having mindfulness and awareness and wisdom. So that middle way is very important, because we are mindful of our mind, we're mindful of our body, especially we're mindful of our feeling. So when we're getting really angry or frustrated, we understand, then we can let it go. We don't get caught up with it. So so that's why the simile of extreme sport is quite interesting. It reminded me, because when you're driving very fast in a race car, or you're diving very deep in the ocean, you don't have time to think about lunch, think about movies, or get angry with your friend, think about what your friend have did or say to annoy you, especially if you're diving and you see a very big shark that disappear from the depths. You become very mindful and aware. So the fear is there, but in meditation it's different, because we are in a very safe environment. No one's going to hurt us. We're not going to come across a shark or a lion unless you are a forest monk living in Thailand or Sri Lanka. Sometimes you do come across like snakes and elephants, even tigers. Yeah. But sometimes if we have metta and kindness, the animals can pick things up. And when they pick them up, they know we're not there to harm them. So what I mean by that is, when we move to a new place or start a new monastery, we'll see like the kangaroos And the birds, when they see human, they run for their life. But when we're there for maybe 6 months to 1 year, and we walk past the kangaroo, they don't run for their life anymore. They know that we're not there to harm them. Yep. And sometimes, at many occasions, when I walk past, I go, hey, there's a big snake just right under my feet. So so mindfulness is very important. And when you're living in the forest, you see there's a big snake, and it's quite poisonous, but you're mindful, you're aware, and you have loving kindness in your heart. So the animals can pick that up too, and they don't feel threatened. Yep. I think that's one reason when you're in the ocean, when you see like a shark, you just become calmer, just be mindful. So that way, there's no threat to yourself and the animal. Okay, I think we can start the meditation instead of talking too much. Because if I say too much, everyone might get bored. But a lot of people like to come for the meditation guidance.
I might come for the talk, Ajahn.
Okay.
Thank you very much. It's been very interesting this evening.
Thanks, Chris. Okay. So we start off with the meditation. So I was just wondering, is there any person that's new to meditation tonight? Anyone that's new? Okay. Okay, one person. Okay, so you're quite new. Okay. Maybe I'll just quickly explain meditation. So meditation is basically learning to relax the body first, then to relax the mind. The goal of meditation is not to stop thinking, it's to calm our thoughts, calm our body, and also calm the 5 senses. Because when we are working so much, when we're so busy, our 5 senses can overwhelm our mind. So meditation is to calm our 5 senses and to bring peace to the mind and to the body. Because when we are so busy, we work and responsibility, we can become overwhelmed. When we're overwhelmed, we feel mentally very tired. So what meditation does is just to relax our thoughts, relax the body, and bring peace, happiness, and freedom back to the mind. So basically, it's just recharging the mind and recharging the body. So once we rest and recharge the body and the mind, then we have more energy to do our tasks. Then our emotional well-being also becomes high up again, fully charged. Because sometimes when we're very busy and overworked, it can drain our mental well-being and tie our mind and our body. And that's why people feel very overworked and burn out. So meditation is to stop that burnout from happening. Okay, so we will start. So first, we just sit down quietly. So we just feel our body. You see it. Okay, then we gently start off closing my eye. We close our eye. We take a couple of big breaths. Breathe in. Then breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. And relax. And just breathe naturally. Breathing is just to allow our awareness to be grounded in front of our face. Now we bring our awareness to our body. Just notice and feel how we're sitting down. please move any part of your body to make yourself as comfortable as possible. If you have any back pain or back injury or leg injury, it's always good to sit on the chair or lean against the wall. Because meditation is learning to relax the body. Okay, now please bring your awareness up to your face. Relax your face. Relax your jaw. Relax the back of your head. Relax your throat. And relax your neck. Now we would bring our awareness up to our upper body. So relax our upper body, the part that is attached to our right and left arms. If we notice, if it's stiff up there, just relax. And allow our upper body to sag. Sometimes it can be stiff. So we allow our shoulder just to relax and sag. Now, we gently bring our awareness to both our arms. Make sure it's nice and rested, not too tight, nice and relaxed. Then we relax our arms and relax our hands and our fingers. If you need to, please move it around into it as comfortable as possible. Then relax our hands and our fingers. Now you bring your awareness to our back. Make sure our back is nice and straight, but not too rigid. And relax our back, our upper back. Then we relax our lower back. And we relax our tummy. Then, if we need to, please move around your lower back that's sitting on the chair or cushion. Make sure it's nice and comfortable. And relax our lower back on the cushion. Now we bring our awareness to our feet. Make sure our feet is nice and relaxed. If you need to move your feet and your leg, please move it. Make it as comfortable as possible. It's not too tight. Nice and relaxed. Not too firm. Then we relax both our leg. Relax our calf. Relax our knee. Then we relax our feet. And relax our toe. With our body relaxed now, we slowly bring our awareness back up to our face. And we're aware of our breathing in and out, calmly and gently. And we breathe in peace. And we breathe out relaxed. Peace. Relax. Peace. Relax. Calm. And letting go. Breathing calm. Breathe out, letting go. And relax this body. With our awareness grounded on this body, we can feel or notice any part of our body that is stiff, tight, or painful. We relax any part of our body that's stiff. And if you need to, please move it around until it's comfortable. Then relax any part of our body that's stiff, especially a hard, busy day at work. Relax this tired body, this old and run down body too. It's good to relax it. And have a break. So please bring your awareness back to the breathing and just breathe naturally. We are mindful of our breathing. So, in order to calm and relax the body, and to calm our thoughts, and to make peace with this moment, and to let go of all our past and future, and to stay with this moment. If you find your mind is still wandering, it's okay. The mind, in its nature, will wander. Just gently bring your awareness back to the body and relax the body. Then just breathe naturally, calmly, and peacefully. We are aware of our breathing, just to calm our thoughts. we use our breath to calm our mind and relax this body. If you have any tightness or pain on your legs or arms or back, just gently move it around to release the pain or the tension. Then gently go back to our breath. Once our body is quite relaxed and peaceful, we stay with our breath, our breathing in and out to calm the mind and to make peace with this moment. We have 5 minutes left, so please enjoy this 5 minutes and just relax. Really relax this body and let go. finishing soon. So please listen to the bell 3 times. And the last gong come up slowly, gently.
John, thank you for a most peaceful meditation.
You're welcome. I think someone left their microphone on. So this.
Oh, it happens.
Yes.
It happens.
So this.
John.
Yes.
Yes.
So
would you like to continue with your talk, or would you like to take questions in the chat, or face to face? Face to face is probably better. But you're all welcome to leave a question in the chat or to speak directly with Ajahn. Is there anybody who would like to ask a question? It usually takes a moment or so as we sort of come back after a good meditation like that, Ajahn.
Yes, sometimes when you first finish, it's just good to just relax and just enjoy the moment. But you see online, it's a little bit hard to gauge where everyone is, because when normally we have a retreat or a meditation class, when everyone is sitting together, it's easy to feel the we say the energy and the karma of the group, because when we have a retreat at Jhana Grove here, there's up to about 50 to 60 people, and when you have that many people sitting together in one place, you can actually feel the energy and the calmness and the peace of the whole group. So when you come into a room where everyone's sitting down meditating, you can feel the energy coming out from the group. But online is a bit hard to gauge. So sometimes I have to guess where everyone is. Okay. Anyway, so is there any questions?
Martha is waving her hand to John. Martha, would you like to ask a question? Unmute and ask a question.
So grateful to have access to you folks. Thank you to Buddhist Society. All right, just quickly, I'm always obsessing about technique, and you said sag the shoulders, and I did this time, and I can't go deeper, but what, it's okay to sag now, and I just wonder what your thoughts are about sleep, and what is the difference between that and sloth and torpor, because when I get down, I will use sleep as a way to escape. And that is not healthy for me. It makes me less energetic and not more. So thank you for speaking on that, and I appreciate you so much.
Because our upper body, and if we are very busy, it can become quite tense up here. And also, sometimes if we do a lot of things at work, in the workplace, other people, it can be quite tense up here. And if it's too tense, sometimes people can have back pain, because we have one guest that stay here, and his parents, his father actually got dementia, so his father will sometimes lose control and almost strike his son and use coarse language. So his father will have to restrain him, so he don't run amok when he's out in town. But when he came to the monastery, he realized his upper body was very stiff, and there was a bit of pain in his neck and his back. But after staying here for 2 weeks, the tension from the upper body become very relaxed and soft, and the pain went away. Then he realized he was just taking care of his father, that he built out this, we'll say, anxiety and pressure, that actually affected his upper body, become quite tense and quite stiff. So that's why if we're still quite tense and stiff in the body, then we're not fully relaxed. The more we relax this body, then the calmer the meditation is. Because a lot of our emotion and tension can get caught up with this body. That's why if the body is still very tense, then the mind cannot relax that quick. The more we relax this body, then it's easier for the mind to become calm and settled. So the body is quite important, because a lot of people go into breath meditation straight away, but the body is not relaxed, so the tension is always there. So it's always good to relax this body as much as possible. The more we relax this body, the deeper the meditation becomes.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Makes a lot of sense.
Oh, thank you, Martha, too. And we do have one more question in the chat. Ajahn, would you like me to read it?
Yes.
What would it feel like for a good meditator like you to do sports right now after finishing a meditation?
I don't know. I think for monks, we don't do sports at all. I mean, the only sport we do is probably walking, go for a walk in the forest. So now it's about 8 o'clock. So when we're walking back at night, you see, after a good meditation, your hearing will be sharper, so you can hear more of the noise from the forest. Your hearing also becomes sharper, so you can see more things. And when you look up into the sky, you can see the stars more clearly. Because when your mind becomes sharper, it becomes more powerful. You can see things clearly. You can hear things clearly. And sometimes you can even smell things more. It's like your 5 senses become more heightened. And your mind becomes more awake. And becomes sharper. So I'm not sure about any sport that we does. Most of the monks don't do any sports here. Maybe chopping wood. Some monks do chopping wood. A lot of the monks have to go for a walk in the forest. Or if not, work around the place. Building work. For monks we don't do much sports. We do a lot of exercise if required. Sometimes you have to exercise to maintain this body. Because if we don't exercise, sometimes the practice, the meditation become very dull. And once it becomes dull, it's good to do walking meditation just to bring up the energy again. Okay. I hope that makes sense.
Well, I think it does. Ajahn, that makes a good answer. And that was for Sybil, who's in Germany. And now Rushi in Perth has got a question for you too, Ajahn. She would like to know, could you please explain a bit more about how to practice walking meditation in our regular lives?
Okay, so walking meditation is because when you sit down and say the mind is very scattered, or it cannot stay with the body or stay with the breath, then there's too much energy in the mind and body. Then walking meditation is actually quite good, because when you walk, you're basically aware of your feet, your sensation, and all the movement of your whole feet. Stepping forward, raising up, stepping forward, and placing down. Then you're aware of the back feet, lifting up, moving forward, and stepping down. So basically, it's the whole sensation and the touch, and the whole movement of the right and left leg moving forward. So you see you step for about maybe 5 to 10 meters, depending on the area. Then you turn around and repeat the the pace again, back and forward, because we're not looking around our surrounding. Yeah? We're just basically aware of our feet. So all the awareness or the mindfulness is based on our feet. And that will basically calm the energy from the mind and from the body. Because if we are basically too agitated or too much worries, burden, or we're too frustrated, then sitting meditation will make the frustration or the problem worse. So walking meditation is a way to allow those energy just to work its way through. So what I mean by that is we have one supporter, and one time she says something happened to his uncle. His uncle got sick and passed away. Then his another uncle got sick too, and also passed away. And she got so mad that she trashed the whole house. I was going, wow, okay, it's a bit sad. But when she trashed her house, then she and her daughter will have to clean up the whole mess again. So when things like that happen, sometimes it's good to go for a walk or jog around the house and let that energy go up, dissipate somewhere else. So that's one extreme way of letting go tension or worry or frustration. So when we are really tense or too much worry or anxiety or depression or frustration, the walking meditation is great. Because sometimes I find that if things go wrong in the monastery too much, and I get into argument with too many people in the monastery, then I find if I sit down, I'll get more mad. So walking is good for me. So I just walk up and down for maybe 20 minutes or over an hour. Then I find that I become more relaxed. My mind becomes less crazy. So then when I sit down in meditation, it's more enjoyable. Because, look, our mind is so chaotic and so out of control. Sometimes walking meditation is the best way to let all this energy go somewhere. So just watching the movement of the body and the leg is a great way to dissipate the energy or let go of that suffering in our mind. So that's one thing I find is walking meditation. Walking meditation is useful. Okay, thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Ajahn. Walk the beat and let that anger out. That's good advice for me as well. Thank you. Thank you very much. Christelle, would you like to unmute and ask the question? Thank you very much. Christelle.
Thank you, Ajahn. I wanted to express my gratitude and really say that I really enjoyed the meditation, and especially your voice. I found it very soothing for me and very calming, so that was really enjoyable, and I think I will use that meditation again in the future. And also, I have a question about meditation. So sometimes now my mind and my body are calm, and my mind is getting a little bit calmer, and I can follow my breathing. But then I notice if there is like a little sharp noise, like someone coughing next to me, or like the house is cracking, or the fridge is making a noise, then it will make me jump, not physically jump, but there will be like inside me, there will be like the same feeling as jumping. And it's not, I would say it's not very nice, it's not very disagreeable, but it's not very nice. And I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I suppose to do nothing, just wait. I don't know. Thank you for your answer.
Okay. When everything is calm, you see the sound is the last sense to disappear. So our touch, our taste, our smell, and our sight, this all will go first. But usually our hearing is always the last to disappear. So once all the other four senses is shutting down, our hearing becomes very sharp and quite strong. So if something moves or someone says something, it becomes quite noticeable and quite strong. So it's quite normal for meditators. When you hear something, it becomes quite more intense. So what I mean is, say if I'm sitting in the forest meditating, and everything's become calmer, but the hearing becomes very sharp. And if something moves in the forest, like a mouse, or a possum, or a kangaroo, it can become very sharp and quite loud, to the point that sometimes I have to open my eye to check, to make sure that it's not a snake or a wild dog or something that's dangerous. So our hearing is also a safety senses, just to guard us from danger. So it's quite normal when you hear a noise, you jump a bit, because once everything shut down, the hearing becomes very, very, very sharp. Yep. But we have to learn to not allow the noise to disturb us, because sometimes in the monastery in the weekend, we have a lookout close to the monastery, maybe about 50 meters from here, and sometimes we have young people coming in and playing their loud music at the lookout. So sometimes they start playing at 9 o'clock into 6 in the morning, just boom, 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 quite loud. And some of the monks, if they can't stand it, they'll call the police. And some will actually walk out to the outside the monastery to the crowd and ask them not to be quiet and not to check a party up at the lookout. But the funny thing is, after when that monastic go back to the monastery, you know how young people are like, they just continue messing around. So sometimes for monastic, we have to learn not to disturb the noise. Yep. So when the noise comes, it's also a teaching for us to just allow it to be and to make peace with it. Because if we don't make peace with it, any small things we can get quite stirred up quite easily. So I do admit sometimes if I sit very quietly outside my kuti, and if something moves, the temptation to just check it out is very strong. So sometimes I have to make peace and not allow the noise to disturb my hearing and disturb my mind. So it's quite tricky, but it can be done, because at home you know you're quite safe, no one's going to harm you, there's no dangerous animal, so just make peace with the noise. Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
And thank you too, Christelle, and thank you, Ajahn. Gloria, would you like to ask the question?
Yes. So when I read the sutta, I always surprised when Buddha said a few words, and then those people will just they will go from a home life to a homeless life. Mm-hmm. And I'm always really surprised why can people decide so fast. So my question is that what is the what made you become very affirmed in going from a lay life to a monastic life? Because I think there's a very great difference between, and what's the most important reason that you made this decision? Thank you.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's a very long answer. I'll try and keep it as short as possible. Okay, so I was quite young. I was working up in the mines. So I wasn't a Buddhist at the time. I started drinking, taking drugs, then hang around with wrong group of people. Then my life went downhill, and I decided to give up drinking and taking drugs. Then my mind started going crazy. I got depressed. Then I started doing meditation. then I found a lot of peace and happiness because I wasn't going crazy, because I realized my thinking was driving me mad up in the minds. And people got into drinking and drugs just to numb the thoughts and the feeling. I knew that was destroying me, so I decided to stop doing that. But the wandering mind and the frustration was still there. So when I started doing meditation and walking meditation and listening to Dhamma talk, I found a lot of happiness because I realized this mind is completely out of control. And if I don't train it with wholesome thoughts, loving kindness towards other people and myself, especially myself, then I was basically just completely falling apart. So with meditation and Buddhism, it actually helped me to stay grounded in myself, in my inner self, because the hardest thing when you're working on the mind is dealing with yourself. And if there's too much, we say, baggage, past and future, it can actually drag one person down, because there's a lot of regret on the past, and a lot of anxiety in the future. So it's hard to let go of regret and anxiety or worry for the future. But to stay in the moment is the hardest thing to do, because we train our whole life, we train to be so smart, so clever, so cunning, and it was basically a rat race. Everyone is competing at one another to go ahead in career, earn as much money as possible, be very popular, and be the best as you can. But all these goals and desires basically tearing my heart apart. So when I got into meditation, I find that if I can let go of these worries and concern, I found a lot of peace and a lot of happiness. On just being free, being by yourself, and not expecting too much from the world, and expecting too much from myself. So that's the most honest answer I can give. But also my health was falling apart, because the anxiety and worry is making me quite sick. So my hands to shake, and I can't sleep for two weeks. So when I started doing meditation, basically all this worry and concern basically slowly fade away. I felt like I was a young child, happy and free. So I always wanted to be happy and free as an adult. So I found it in meditation and in the Buddhist teaching. So that's my most honest answer. But also Buddhism, we talk about non-self, to not feed the self, to basically understand this self is just cause and condition. The more we are calm, the more we're peaceful, then we find that the self is not going crazy with past, future worries, desires, and always constantly busy all the time with work, with friends, with duties. There's no sense of peace. So with meditation and mindfulness, you get a lot of peace and freedom from just letting go and not doing anything. Okay, thank you. Hope that makes sense. I mean, it is a long reason, but I'll keep it as short as was possible. Because in the world, everyone is looking for happiness through the five senses. But in Buddhism, we find happiness from letting go of the five senses, and find happiness from freedom of desire, and freedom from, freedom from worry, because we worry so much, and we think so much that it actually causes a massive headache and anxiety. But if we can live in the moment, day by day, and don't think too much, don't overthink so much, then we become happy and free. Because when we think too much, then it becomes a burden. Because thinking is one thing I realized when I did a lot of meditation. I realized thinking a lot is a lot of suffering. The more we think, the more we suffer. The less we think, the less we suffer. The more mindful we are, then the more happy we become. So freedom is letting go of the self. That's why in Buddhism we have this thing we call non-self. If there's a self and there's an I, there's my suffering, my burden, my pain. If there's no self, then we are free from all attachment. Okay. Thank you.
A moving answer. Thank you, Ajahn. That was very special. I've just spent the last 2 months living in my home in Laos with my niece and nephew, who never raised a voice.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
And spoke softly and sweetly, and with great sweetness. And now I'm back in Japan. Life has become noisy again. So I understand what you're saying. Christelle has got a question. Would you like to follow up with a further comment or question, Christelle?
Yes, thank you very much. Thank you, Ajahn, for your answer just now. That's very useful for me. But I had something else I wanted to say. It was more to the group. It was, to everyone, because you talked about sharks before, and I just wanted to say that as in the Metta Sutta we have to send love to everyone and every beings, and I just wanted to say that we need to include the sharks and send them love. And I used to dive as well and snorkel, and I've met many sharks in my life. They were small sharks, and I never got attacked or threatened. And only once I was really surprised because a shark was coming towards me, and I started to get a bit worried. And then I realized that the shark turned, and then she or he had a hook in her mouth, or his mouth. And maybe he or she wanted to show it to me. So I just wanted to say that we need to send love to the sharks too. Thank you, everyone.
Yes. I think my time with snorkeling, I didn't see so much shark. You see, when I do see them, they was quite afraid. They would disappear pretty quickly. And if they do come closer, it's just curious, and they will swim away. But when they do appear, you tend to be quite mindful and quite aware. It's a bit sad now these days. The place I used to go snorkeling, there's very few fishes now, because a lot of the fish are taken by big fishing ships, and it seems to be less and less sharks in the ocean. So it's a bit sad, because all these climate disasters and species extinction is all driven by defilements, because it's not the fossil fuel that's driving this. It's our greed from our defilements that want things easy. So, and that's what is driving this destruction in the natural world, and the use of fossil fuel. I'm pretty happy now the monastery has got a electric car. So so that does help to cut down the amount of fossil fuel used in the monastery. So as a monastery, we are doing our part, but slowly. It will take a while. But the main thing is our defilements. As long as we lessen our greed and anger and self, then we don't need to use so much resources. Because sometimes the bigger the desire, the more wants we want. And when there's more want, there tends to be more destruction of nature. Thank you. Okay, so it's 8:30 now, so we just finished in time. So if there's...
Excellent. I have one request, Ajahn, if I may.
Yes, please.
Would you like to offer us a blessing in Pali today? Because today it's rather special in Osaka. The cherry blossoms are out.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll give a quick blessing for everyone's happiness, welfare, and protection. Nati ne sayangano putu ne sayanadu ete na hachawate na sutite husapatada. Nati ne sayangano putu damo ne sayangano ete na hachawate na sutite husapatada. Nati ne sayangano sango me sayangano Etena Sachawatena Sutite Husatapada. So that blessing is, may the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha protect you, no matter where you are. Yep. So this is the protection of the Triple Gem. Okay. So so please take care, no matter where you are, and take care. And just practice loving kindness and mindfulness. The key to happiness is be mindful. So when you're mindful, you're aware, and you're aware of your action, your speech, and your thoughts. And if for some reason you're not aware, because we're not all enlightened or fully enlightened, only a fully enlightened being have perfect awareness. So if we're not aware, then it's okay. We forgive ourselves and forgive other people for their misfortune. And the best thing we do is just calm the mind and let go through meditation. Okay, so good night, yeah?